Hey, what's going on, everybody? Andrew here, back for our build review show. It is Monday, December 16th of 2024. And on this show, I bring users builds up live on stream, giving them personalized feedback and advice about things I think they can do differently in their builds to help improve their post-contest sim ROIs and ultimately help them build and submit stronger lineups into their contests. So we do this show twice a week. We do this show Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you ever want to get signed up for a show, all you need to do is drop your DraftKings username in the office hours channel. Let me know what sport and slate you want me to review, and that will give me all the info I need to get you up and get you on stream. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We have one person signed up today, and then we have a quick demo. I want to hear for a question that I missed at the end of office hours, which just finished about 10-15 minutes ago here. So we're going to knock out those two things and go from there. So why don't we get SaberSim up on the screen? Our one user who signed up today is Brandon. Brandon signed up to wanted me to look at the Packers and Seahawks Sunday night showdown from yesterday. So we're going to do that. Got the slate up here, and we're going to start in the contest tab as always. All right. So what do we see? We see good contest selection, right? Getting a single entry in here, some low stakes 20 max contests. This is very good contest selection. Happy with it. Now let's go and look at one of these bigger contests. We'll do the higher entry fee 20 max here. So it's going to be the quarter jukebox out of these two. All right. And let's jump over to this users section. We're going to look at users who entered 20 lineups. We're going to sort by sim ROI. All right. So first things first, right? Good news is we're positive 6.45% sim ROI. Good start, right? Looks like some of the highest sets are somewhere over 20%. So we're not too far from there. We are a little further away, and we can figure out what we need to do to get closer, right? We always want to be toward the top of the standings, means that we're building and submitting strong lineups. So what do we see? Average salary looks pretty good, 49.2 effectively here. Not that bad. Average dupes is 7. Sim average score 89. Some of these 20 maxes, it's a little bit harder to tell if people are entering trains of lineups, which means entering the same lineup 20 times. Gets skewed off the data a little bit, right? But seeing some of these, 145 dupes. So setting it less than or equal to 100, we just get a little bit more usable information here to compare against, right? Like we're never going to be comparing this set of 20 unique lineups to some lineup dupe 753 times. So what do we see, right? So the dupes look good. They're actually really low comparatively here, which is surprising, to say the least. Okay, so we see some user with 16% sim ROI. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find somebody with similar metrics, right? So average dupes of 7. Okay, hey, there's a user with average dupes of 8. Their sim average scores are actually just about the same here. Even their under 5 dupes are just about the same. So I'm kind of interested. I'm surprised, I'd say, to see a 10% ROI difference between these two. So what I want to do is I want to go through this with a little closer magnifying glass. So what I would do is I would zone in on Brandon's 20 lineups, go to the leaderboard, and just be like, okay, what lineups here graded out well, which ones graded out poorly? And I would start by just scrolling through these, right? So okay, 11% sim ROI. Okay, good. 13%, good. -5%. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's any lineup that just really stands out as poor. And because sometimes you can just avoid a bad lineup and that will just raise the mean of all the rest of your lineups. So for instance here, this lineup, negative 23% sim ROI. Okay, I want to circle back to that one. I want to see if there's any more like that. Negative 21%, positive 25, positive 13, positive 31. Some low negative ones, very small. Okay, so this is what I've seen so far. So there's two lineups here that are just a lot worse than all the others for whatever reason, right? I'm not 100% sure why, but those seem to be that there's only two lineups with like a worse than a negative 20% sim ROI, right? If you could basically avoid those, you can raise the average, right? So you can kind of just zone in, hyper focus on these two and be like, okay, what happened in these two lineups and why are they so bad, right? And hopefully you can learn something from them to help you make better decisions next time. So what do I see? So I see a pretty low projection, 84.9. You know, we see a lot of other lineups, 92.3, 93.8, 88, 87, 87, 88, right? So not only are we sacrificing a ton of projection, but this lineup's also highly so this lineup uses all the salary, has a low projection, and takes on a ton of dupes. It's like a culmination of these three things that are leading to this poor sim ROI, right? Like, look at this other lineup, you know, 25% positive sim ROI, similar projected score, but even just sacrificing, you know, 200 points, $200 in salary, and just like the combination of players here ends up helping this lineup to have dupes of 2, and not having those additional 18 dupes takes a similarly projected lineup from negative sim ROI to positive sim ROI, right? Okay, so we've looked into this negative 21 one. Now let's go and look into that negative 25 one and see if we could figure out anything similar there. And where's that one at? Okay, negative 23. So this one, 49.9 salary, so leaving 100 on the table, 89 projection, so higher, but 11 dupes, right? And what do we see here? So this is a 3-3 stack. That other one was a 4-2 Packers stack. And this other one was a 4-2 Packers stack. But captain, see, this is kind of where I think about, you know, roster construction, right? As like a way of being different. So the 49-8 one, it's a 4-2 Packers, but it has like a naked. So I'm playing DK. I'm not playing his quarterback, playing one other player on his team, which is a tight end. And then we have this like 4 stack of the Packers in between that, right? This is like a good example of just simply roster construction helping you to get different, as opposed to like the 50K salary one. It's like, okay, it's a wide receiver captain with the quarterback with 3 other, you know, well projected, well owned plays, and then it just fits in whatever salary player has a projection that can fill out the rest of this lineup, right? Like, I understand why this one gets more duplication than DK Metcalf solo. So, you know, we're getting into like roster construction type stuff, like how it all comes together, how it all fits together, and things like that, right? So what do you do with this information? I mean, you could like inspect your lineups as you go if you want. I think that, you know, we could probably even try something like, hey, maybe we chop max salary just ever so slightly. You know what I mean? So I don't know what you did in this build. Let's actually go to the build you used to build your lineups. But yeah, I mean, look, like you can trial and error these things. One thing I like to do that I recommend people do is do it on a contest by contest basis. So like, you played the quarter and the dime time. Great. 2 contests to play. Go and do 2 different ideas in each contest. So, okay, hey, in the dime time, I'm going to set max salary to 49.8 and see how that impacts my post contest sim ROIs. Maybe in the other one, you're going to go and do like 49.5, and you're going to be a little bit more aggressive with your salary, ceiling, and see how your lineup's grade out there, right? Like you can test these things, across different contests, right? With different strategies. So if I had to make any recommendations, that would definitely be one of them, is to try out, different ideas and different contests. I would maybe start with some of the salary stuff just because we're seeing that be a factor here, right? In some of your lineups. What else do we see? So no filters, no rules, no lineup filters, ROI. No exposure adjustments in captain, no exposure adjustments in flex. So pretty hands-off build, all things considered here. What I would say is, okay, Brandon said should have had filters, possibly like got turned off or something at some point. We can just go and see. I'm not sure. Sometimes they're like saved and turned off. I don't see them, unfortunately. I'll take, your word for it that there were filters here, so I won't speak too much on those. But this is a very good approach, right, for research. Like, hey, my underlying metrics look okay. Are there just a couple, outliers in my set that are just driving my ROI down? And it looked like there was, right? The vast majority of the lineups, 18 out of 20 of them, looked really, really good. And then there were just like kind of 2 lineups standing out as like bad. If we can just dive into those and try and figure out a way to avoid simply those, that just raises everything up. So I think your lineups are good. You're still positive ROI. You're getting closer and closer to the top there. Try and make a couple fine-tune adjustments. Try and do more research like that. Play both showdowns tonight, right? Try it out across both showdowns and see how it goes. But that's what I would be recommending at this time. All right, Brandon said I had ROI greater than 0 and dupes less than 2. Okay, so those are 2 good filters to have. Glad to hear you're using those. All right, so that was our only person signed up for the Build Review Show, but we did have somebody who asked a question at the end of office hours, and I missed it. So I want to go back and cover that really quickly here. So we're going to transition into a quick question here. So the question was, I hand built 3 lineups for the power sweep in the 2-game NFL slate tonight. Can you go through how to run the sims to see if they are positive? Yes, I could show you how to do this. So what you would want to do first is, obviously hand build the lineups on your phone or computer, however you hand built them, right? Second thing you want to do is come into the app and go to the upload entries, and you want to download the template file, because the file is going to have your lineup in it. Okay. So if I click download template file, I'm going to get this file. Okay. That says DK entries. I don't want to upload it. What I want to do is I want to open it. Okay. So open this file. It'll look like this. The reason it's blank is because I'm not entered for this slate. But what you want to do, come into this file. You see where the quarterback starts? This is where the lineup starts. Okay. So get rid of all these other columns. Get rid of A through D. Delete them. Okay. And then you can get rid of all the J, 1s, 2. So you just need the lineup or lineups, right? So then now this file would have only the lineups with the player IDs if they were hand-built lineups. And you said 3 lineups, so it'd be just like the first 3 rows after the positions. And then you would save this file. Okay, save it. Great. So then now what I would do is I would go to a build, new build. I'd right-click on it, and then I would use the upload pool option. When you use the upload pool, you go and you bring in the file that we just altered. So go and click the file that we just altered. The lineups will get imported into the build. And then from there, all you need to do is set up your contest sim and run the contest sim. And then your lineups will be put through the contest sim engine. So that is how that works. All right. So until then, everybody, take care. Good luck tonight. Thanks. Bye.